there's some people that we may have to bring forward and subpoena to bring forward. And so that's kind of how that conversation went.
UAP James has posted something rather intriguing, along with a bit of audio from the Unidentified Alien podcast. And it's with regards to David Grusch and Eric Burleson, Representative Burleson, working on this, basically, how do you put this, a UAP task force for transparency that's chaired by Paulina Luna.
Grusch, it was like drinking from a fire hose. He gave probably 20 different names of individuals, some that you've heard of, but most of them I've never heard of being discussed in the UFO community.
Eric has said in this podcast that David Grusch has given him 20 names of individuals directly involved in these UAP programs. Now here's where it gets interesting. There is a hostile and non-hostile list, which means some of these guys are not going to come willingly. They're going to have to be subpoenaed.
He also gave us an indication as to which ones will be hostile and which ones will not. So by hostile, what I mean is that they're not going to willingly come forward and provide information like he did. They don't want to talk about this topic. And if we were to bring them forward, they would probably say, I can't, or I don't recall, or I can't speak to that.
What's really funny about this is David Grusch had the same list of bad guys and good guys that he was willing to give in a SCIF when he was testifying in Congress back on I believe it was the 23rd of July, 2023. It's been a while now since then. I just think this is a really interesting development. It's also quite big news because we've been waiting for this list for a very long time, and it's going to help these guys really, really cut some corners to expedite the process, if you like, to find out who's responsible for all this stuff and who's been running this. Now, we know the culprits here. I've mentioned Mike Rogers a gazillion times. I've mentioned Mike Turner a gazillion times, which is why he was subsequently moved from the Armed Services Committee as chair. We know that to a degree, I guess, there are some senators involved. Mitch McConnell has been mentioned a few times because he's blocked SA 2610 numerous times alongside those other two congressmen. And we know that Northrop Grumman is involved. We know that Lockheed Martin is involved. Okay, so that's the easy bit. We know that. What we don't know is putting a face to a said USAP, a good old USAP, unacknowledged special access program or special access program or waived unacknowledged special access program. Good Lord. USAP, SAP, there's so many. And it's really important that we get this type of information going on. Now, I know that this isn't spectacular to some of you. And as I said before, this is not Hollywood. This is real life. This is a great move in the right direction. The fact that we've got proactiveness going on, affirmative action, and people taking initiative to get to the bottom of this. And I like Eric Burleson simply because he's a healthy skeptic. He thinks this whole thing is BS, but he still has what I'd like to call the best approach as a skeptic to go, all right, okay, if this, I'll call your bluff. Let's see what you've got. And that is the best way to do this. Don't poo-poo on anything without looking at the evidence, as I've said many, many times before. Let's get all the cards out on the table and then assess the situation, as anyone with half a brain cell would. I think this is really important. I think this is a really big milestone. And certainly from, the government perspective, obviously we've seen what Skywatch are doing, which is nothing short of incredible. The fact that this is trundling on in the background too is great. Now, I know that Lou Elizondo is getting involved with the government in some capacity. I'm not sure if he's going to be on some sort of committee or I think it's the National Services Committee or something of that nature, but I'm still looking into that. I think he's getting involved somewhere. He has been speaking to the Trump administration, by the way, as well as Jake Barber and a few other people. So let's watch this space and let's see what happens. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. So you heard it first from DK, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.